Welcome to Finding Joy in Education, the podcast that celebrates the positive and uplifting stories from the world of education. I'm your host, Sarah Painter, honored to be your guide on this journey through the bright spots in classrooms and schools across Pinellas County and beyond. As the 2022 Florida Teacher of the Year, I've had the privilege of witnessing incredible moments of inspiration and passion within the education community. In each episode, we'll bring you stories that showcase the remarkable work of educators, students, and schools, highlighting the joy, the creativity, and the innovation. Whether it's a groundbreaking teaching method, a student's triumph, or a school-wide initiative making a difference, we'll uncover the heartwarming tales that remind us why education is such a powerful force for positive change. Join me as we dive into the stories that inspire, motivate, and remind us all that despite the challenges, there is joy to be found in every classroom. Because in education, it's not just about what we teach, it's about the impact we make and the joy we find along the way. This is Finding Joy in Education. Hello and welcome to the Finding Joy in Education podcast. My name is Sarah Painter, your host, and joining me today we have two very special guests while we are on location at the Experience PCS event here in Pinellas County at Clearwater High School. Would you please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. My name is Donna Sicilian. My title is Executive Director of Student Services for Pinellas County Schools.
It's a mouthful.
Yes, it's not as glamorous as it sounds, but it is fun.
Excellent.
And I support our counselors, psychologists, social workers, nurses, prevention,
So
crisis
our most
response.
important staff members.
Thank you
so much, Donna.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then over here we have...
Hi everybody, my name is Allison Kelly. I'm an account executive with Unite Us, and we are the technology that powers the Care About Me organization.
I love it, and I can't wait to dig in a little bit more about this Care About Me organization, because I was telling you before, those are some buzzwords I keep hearing around our county, so I can't wait to hear a little bit about what that program means for our families. So this event today is all about showcasing what we have here in Pinellas County, what sets us apart, why we are innovative, and the services that we have that we can connect our families to. So Allie, would you share a little bit about what Care About Me is and how you came to be partnered with Pinellas County Schools?
Absolutely, I would love to share that. So Care About Me is a confidential phone line that allows Pinellas County residents to call in to get free access to screenings and assessments to help them identify challenges they may be encountering within the mental health, behavioral health, substance use, and substance detox domains.
So give me an example of when a family might use that anonymous line to call in.
Wonderful, yeah. You know, the types of services that go into the mental health treatment are so wide and diverse. Some of the really common things that we find folks reaching out for are support with grief. When families are undergoing divorce and family structure changes, it's an opportunity to have a safe place to talk through that as well. As folks are going through the grade school system and preparing for college, many folks realize this new stage of life feels uncertain and a little bit scary. And so mental behavioral health can tackle a lot of different challenges and stages for all ages in life.
So tell me a little bit about what that looks like within the school and then outside of the school.
Absolutely. So we're really fortunate to be able to have the support of the county schools, mental health liaisons, and social workers. These individuals are working so closely with Pinellas County families to help to ensure that they have visibility and access to the wonderful, diverse resources that are living right here in their county. It's really important because these e-referrals or referral partners are able to help add visibility to things that folks in the community simply didn't know existed. So at events like today, they are able to actually see how we're interacting with the community, making these resources available, and then sharing what kinds of folks qualify for services.
Wonderful. So, I'm an administrator, and what would I do if a family reached out to me and said that they had a need?
Wonderful. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to get involved in conversations with Care About Me. This was actually very intentional in the design of the model. We have a phone call line. The number is 727-333-CARE, C-A-R-E. We also allow folks to make referrals through our website, which is careaboutme.org. When you go to the website, you're going to see a lot of different ways to interact with the information. Our social workers and mental health liaisons, as an example, will use a form called e-referral.
Okay.
And it allows them to say, I'm reaching out on behalf of this student or the student's family, and I think they would benefit from some services, or at least having a conversation about what kinds of services are available.
Excellent. What kind of help do you give for our families who maybe do not speak English? How do we assist those families?
That was actually another very important part of the design of the model. The Unite Us platform actually collects something called consent to be able to share a family's information with a provider that we're looking to get them connected to. And one of the ways that the technology in and of itself is responsive is there's over 50 languages that consent can be offered digitally to ensure that folks are able to interact with the information in the language that they are most comfortable with. That's truly informed consent.
It sounds like you've thought of every single barrier that may exist and thought, how do we make sure we tackle this so that there is nothing standing in between our families and the help that they so deserve and that they're seeking to get.
And if I can add one more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
If folks do decide to call in or text in to the Care About Me phone line, we actually have a language translation service that's connected to the phone line. So we can pull in a speaker who can help support a fluid conversation.
I like that because it's on the spot, right? We
Absolutely.
don't ask them,
on
hold
demand.
on, we need to go find someone, or can you call back at this time?
Nope.
You've thought of all of that, and you've made sure that every single one of those families is heard and listened to, and we know that's half the battle, is that they have someone that understands and is listening. So
having the courage to start the conversation is the hardest part.
Yeah.
We don't want to create another barrier for them to prevent them from having to be turned away or told to hold on for a second. So we want to break down all those barriers.
Excellent. I'm so excited about this partnership, and I can't wait to share that with our families at Belcher Elementary. Donna, tell us a little bit how you bridge from Care About Me to Pinellas County Schools.
Absolutely. So Pinellas County Schools was part of the pilot originally. So when you were just commenting how they thought about everything, it was really intentional.
That's
and
great.
we were a partner from the very beginning. So there were groups of us that met and talked about what the community lacked and what it needed, which was, we have resources, as Allie was saying, out there, but it's difficult to make that connection, and there were barriers. So the whole intention with Care About Me is to break through those barriers. So I'm glad to hear your perception that we are in fact doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so our staff, like you said, how would you as an administrator, you could make the referral, you could talk to your psychologist, social worker, counselor, nurse, we could get that information. When we refer a family and we provide the information to CAM, we have to get a release of information and get permission first. But we can also just share how to access CAM with the family, and then they can reach out themselves.
I love it. So depending on their comfortability, whether they would prefer someone being their advocate to start the ball rolling, or are they confident enough to go ahead and do that? I love it. So families are here today representing many different needs. How does Student Services and CAM ensure that every student, regardless of circumstances, can fully access learning and enrichment through these programs?
Sure. So we have psychologists, social workers, counselors, nurses at every one of our schools. And their sole job is to identify and provide support and intervention. And oftentimes what we find is we will support them during that school environment, but sometimes there's a need for more than that. And that's when we reach out to the CAM and other providers in our community for both our students and our families to get support. And I'll let Allie talk a little bit more about what happens after that once we've made that referral.
Perfect. Yeah, can you walk us through that? What does that look like once the referral's been made?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's important to just walk that back for just a second. So that initial outreach that happens, that our social workers and mental health liaisons or families even self-initiate, will result in a free screening and or assessment by our master's level clinical specialist. This allows us to really be able to give the providers in the community as much information about the individual or family's needs.
Yeah.
So that way that clinical work can start faster than expected,
Yeah.
right? We really care about the time because time is very sensitive, especially when you're dealing with mental health and substance use. And so our clinicians will do that administration of the screening and assessment. They'll talk through them, what providers are available in our mini network. One of the things that we will talk about is what do you prefer in terms of proximity? Do you want to work close to your office? Do you want to go to services close to your home? Is being close to the school more efficient for afternoon pickups, for example?
Right.
Some folks may say, yeah, I'd rather do virtual. Because of COVID, so many folks have become more comfortable with doing things remotely through like a telehealth environment. And so we'll work with them using different criteria such as their insurance coverage if they have it. We also explore opportunities for Medicaid and Medicare coverage. Sometimes we're even able to connect them with providers free of charge because they're able to offer pro bono services.
Tell me about the longevity of these services. So you've connected with families, you get them started. I'm sure you don't just disappear. What does that look like on a longer time span than just that moment of connection?
Yeah. So that first call, that impetus, is going to be our screening and assessment call. If an individual decides to move forward with services, we will be able to identify what provider they would be connected with and what time and day they will have an appointment. We take really great pride in having a multi-touch system with our residents.
Yeah.
And so before the appointment, we'll do a little outreach, and we use something called motivational interviewing. And essentially what that is asking questions to be able to help break down any barriers or concerns or challenges to be able to participate in the appointment that we've gotten scheduled.
I love it.
After they attend their provider appointment, we do one more round of outreach. And it's really important because it allows us to have a conversation with them, to hear about their experience, to make sure our provider network is meeting their needs. And then if they've identified other areas that they would like to help support themselves or their families, we can start a whole new referral chain for them.
I love that. I think that's so comforting to know that you're there for the long haul until all the needs are met, not just an initial need that maybe presented itself. That's amazing. So I want to ask both of you, what's one support or service that families often don't realize is available to them, but has a huge impact on student success?
Well, I was a teacher for a very long time, and I think that in the mental health domain, stress management is one of the things that people don't realize constitutes mental health.
Nice.
And it's how you address the challenges that are kind of the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows in life around you, because life be lifin'.
Right.
And so as you are developing strategies and having a safe place to talk through those stressors, I think it just helps prepare students with a more vast toolbox for lifelong
I love it, stress management. Donna, what do you think is one service we might be surprised to know is out there for our families?
I think the services that we provide to some of our higher achieving students. Because we so often, we have students that have what we call externalizing behavior, right? So they're sometimes disrupting their learning, the learning of others around them, and they're very easy to identify. But then we have what we call the internalizing behaviors or the silent sufferers. And this often happens with some of our high achieving youth. That stress, it ties into what Allie was saying. There's just so much stress and perfectionism. And but they're getting good grades. They don't have that early warning. They're attending. They have good grades.
From the
involved.
outside,
They're
seems
smiling.
Exactly.
But what we've found over time is that these kids are hurting, and they're engaging in like non-suicidal self-injury or attempts of suicide, or just withdrawing because of depression and anxiety.
Yeah. So I have to ask, what about our staff? What services exist then for staff members? We've talked a lot about our students and their families, but what about current employees of Pinellas County Schools? How does this impact maybe their needs or what they need from you guys?
Yeah, again, Care About Me is available to anyone who is a Pinellas County resident. So whether you're a staff, a faculty, if you are in the administrative support staff, these resources are here and available for you. I think that when you think about families are tough structures. There's dynamics, and having a safe place to work with a professional to talk through challenges that families go through is really important, because your family isn't alone or isolated in the fact that there's dynamics.
I would also want to make sure that our employees remember that we have an employee assistance program, and they can receive 8 free sessions of counseling from providers in the community as well.
Can you remind us how they get access to that?
Yes, there is a phone number that they can call that I don't have off the top of my
we'll
head,
make
but
sure
we can get
have
that.
it. Yep.
And also, if they go onto the intra site, the portal, there is, in risk management, has an entire section on benefits and on the employee assistance program and what it includes.
Excellent. All right, so for families that are walking through Experience PCS today, what do you most hope they walk away understanding about student supports?
Well, I would say just that we're here. You know, we're downstairs, we're making sand trays and calming jar tables with glitter, and it draws everyone over. And then that way we're able to share with them and say, hey, whether you need us now or you need us sometime in the future, this is what's available at your school. And then we have Allie and some other providers from the community right there next to us to share what is available within the community
and
as
put
well.
a face with that department, right?
And
so
a
like
smiley
we're here,
face
there are people here
full
that
of glitter in her hair. So yeah, we can have fun too.
Allie, what are you hoping our families walk away knowing?
Well, I was so impressed with the statement of 100% student success. That caught me immediately.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to think what success looks like in all these pivotal situations, and just being able to leverage the things that are accessible to you to help to achieve that time and time again, and then in different areas of your development.
Excellent. Would you one more time give us the phone number and the website for Care About Me?
Absolutely. Care About Me can be reached by phone or text at 727-333-CARE. Alternatively, you can visit our website, careaboutme.org.
Well, I want to thank you both for spending time with me today and helping us understand more about these services. Thank you so much for what you do for our families and for all that you did today at our Experience PCS event. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks.
Hello and welcome to the Finding Joy in Education podcast. We're here live from Experience PCS event at Clearwater High School here in Pinellas County. Standing to the left of me, we have some special guests today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you where they work here in Pinellas County Schools.
My name is Shanita Whiting. I'm a clerk specialist for Title I School.
I'm Shannon Butler. I'm Assistant Director for Title I.
All right, so I'm going to start right away with Title I. Tell us what this means and how would our families connect to what this is here in Pinellas County?
All right, Title I is a federal program that no matter background or zip code, wants to ensure that support and tools are provided to all students to be successful. And currently we have 95 Title I schools in Pinellas County Schools.
Wow, incredible, incredible. So give me an example of how a family might benefit from Title I.
So we feel like Title I is like getting the golden ticket. You get to be a Title I school. It's all about support and resources, and not just for staff and for students directly, but Title I uniquely is one federal program that has a budget that is dedicated to parent and family engagement. Every school receives that budget, and within that budget, some of the things that we would like to see is that there's an opportunity to build capacity for parents, to get input from parents because you are our partners, and then also an opportunity for staff to receive training on the value and utility of parents, because it is a partnership, and when school and home connect, our students succeed. All the research shows that.
Absolutely.
And then I would also say one of the things that they may see often is that if a family is coming to the school for an event, they can use those funds to provide dinner so that families can just engage in what's happening and they don't have to worry about hurrying home to make dinner. So that's, one of the...
I love it. Dr. Butler, before I get to Shanita about this family engagement, what it looks like as a parent herself of Pinellas County Schools students, how does a school become Title I? And tell me about the fluidity of that, where they may be a Title I school one year but not another year. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's based on our poverty data, which is taken through the Office of Food and School Nutrition. And so it is an annual look at the data, and it's simply based on poverty. So it's 75% or higher, you are a Title I school.
Wow, okay. And you said we have 95 Title I schools in Pinellas County.
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible. All right, so Shanita and I go way back. I was a teacher to her daughter way back, very pivotal year that we all went home for COVID and did not come back. So we became very close as a partner, which is what you want. You want that partnership. So Shanita, not only as someone who works in the Title I office, but as a parent, how important is family engagement when it's hosted by a school or by the district?
I believe family engagement is very important. I mean, if you have the family engagement, it's encouraging the students to push forward. They see that they have that support. They see that they have someone that they can rely on, not just at home, but in the school setting as well.
And I think what I found from when I was in the classroom was when you build that partnership, the student feels safe because they know that what they do at home matters at school.
Correct.
And what they do at school matters at home.
Yes.
And so when we build that, like you said, everyone succeeds, and we know Pinellas County is 100% student success. So this is how it works. This is how we build partnerships. So we know we have so many families here at the Experience PCS event today. What is one thing you are hoping they walk away with today knowing about Title I, Dr. Butler?
That it's seamless and that it's simple. So the experience that we created is growing together, and so they are starting by planting seeds, and they can extend that at home, and it opens up conversation. Research shows that gardening allows students to feel safe, all of the things that we just mentioned. And so though it may seem simple, it is that doorway to saying, you know, families, this is how it doesn't stop at the school door, it extends at home. So it's science, it's germination, it's all of those things. It's an opportunity.
But it's also a conversation starter,
yes,
right?
yes,
So now
yes.
you've got conversation, and you've got that mutual respect and all the social skills that we're looking for. So tell me about this gardening program. I saw you guys had a lot of cute little stuff over there. Tell me what's going on.
Well, simply just that. We want the families to see how easy it is. The kids can do it alone. They can just be there to guide them. So we're modeling what it looks like. And then we want that family input, as I spoke about earlier. So we're asking the parents to talk to us about this experience. How easy was it? Is it something they feel they can do at home? And so one of the things that they can now be entered into is a drawing for a raised bed. Woo-hoo! So hopefully we will have 3 of those that we'll be giving away. And we've gotten very positive feedback from the families. And they also love our little photo wall.
I
here.
saw it. It was gorgeous. So Shanita, tell me about some of the families that have come through to your booth today. What are some of the conversations that you're having with them?
I found that a lot of the families enjoyed planting. I had some that were already in the works with planting themselves, some that wanted to plant but didn't know what to do, so they were happy with our demonstration because it gave them an idea of what to do to go home and start for themselves.
That's beautiful. So as a parent of students who have been in Title I schools, can you think back to some of your favorite family engagement events that were hosted at these schools and how that made you feel knowing that you were connected to the school in that way? So kind of go back to that elementary, middle, high school stages. What were some of the events that you recall that you're like, I remember being able to go into the school and do that?
I would say Muffins for Mom
Yes.
because I attended that often with both of my kids, mainly at Eisenhower Elementary, and that really gave me time to bond more with my kids and see the different interactions with the other families and the moms and kind of engage and build more relationships.
And that is not possible without Title I.
Correct.
Because we cannot do that on our own at our schools. So when we partner and we are able to use those Title I funds to bring parents in, the community is built. Like you said, you see the other moms there that are doing the same thing you're doing in the same battle as you are. And you're like, okay, I see how we're connected.
Correct.
And then you see them at another event and you're like, oh, there she is. We were talking at Muffins for Mom. So I love that Title I remove some barriers for schools. You know, I'm an administrator now, and I've always worked in Title I schools. It brings me the most joy to be in Title I schools because we see that partnership that might not exist in some of these other schools at other counties that don't have Title I support. So tell us a little bit about your favorite impact at the school level in the Title I department.
I would say being invited in. Yes, when they invite us to come out and to see the things that they're doing, or even invite us to have a table so that we can talk to the families, so that they can also see that connection with district staff, you know, as well, because our whole point and purpose is to support schools. That's
I love
why
it.
we
I'm going to
exist.
make a note that we need to call you out and have you come to our next event at Belcher. We will have you.
Sounds good.
So we call this the Finding Joy in Education podcast. I can't let you leave without telling me maybe maybe a joy story. So I'm going to give you a few minutes or moments to reflect. And I want you to think about, you don't have to name that, but maybe a family or a community that you've impacted through Title I and how that has brought joy to the field of education.
So I will say one of the first big community projects that I participated in Title I, we created an experience for families to get resources that they may have needed, from legal services to just a bevy of things. And at the end of that experience, they were able to receive all turkey and all the fixings.
Oh, wow.
But what was most important was the family member that came over one after another, and they said, we can't believe that you guys took the time to do all of this for us. And it's really about service. It's service to the community, service to the schools, and that's my why.
And that's what education is.
Yes.
We are in the serving business. We serve others
Yes.
all day long. Shanita, do you have any stories of maybe families you guys have supported or a personal connection you've had through the Title I job that you're doing? I know it's a hard one, but even as a mom yourself, it sounds like you've had some great experiences in your children's school because of the opportunities that our Title I funding has provided. So it's so beautiful. I love it. Well, I thank you guys both for being here with us today, for being right on location, and for being downstairs and all the things that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for listening to the Finding Joy in Education podcast.